Hey, get ready for another exciting adventure at your leisure, fans, because this week our friends Gina and Kevin Mortensen are taking us to a desert in bloom just in the nick of time to catch some of the spring beauty down near Ticaboo, Utah. Then we're off to Sanpete County as we visit the Palisades and Yuba state parks for a fun-filled day of riding and boating. Finally, Reece Stein is off on another adventure to one of the best preserved medieval cities in the world. It's all headed your way now. At Your Leisure is next.
Girls, come look at this.
It's gorgeous out here.
This is amazing. Hello everybody, welcome to At Your Leisure. My name's Kevin Mortensen.
And I'm Gina Mortensen.
And we're filling in for Chad and Rhea today. We're out on the beautiful Burr Trail in central Utah. And these are our two girls, Hannah and Shelby.
This morning we started our wonderful adventure out here on the Burr Trail at the Ticaboo Lodge. And there they have an adventure center. We met Captain Ray this morning and we were shown where all these beautiful wildflowers are. And what a beautiful day it is. So much better than doing laundry or yard work.
This is something else. Let's go see it.
Mom, let's go find those flowers.
Absolutely, let's go.
Ticaboo Lodge has everything from lodging. We have a restaurant. We have the Adventure Center, which includes rentals, guided tours. And when we rent something to somebody, we just don't say, there it is, have a good day. We give them the entire rundown on everything you can see and do. We have them download a digital map, and we drop pins for them everywhere, and we even write descriptions on those pins as to what you can see and do. And if they're still a little uncomfortable with going out and seeing all of that on their own, then we send a guide with them, and they'll show them all this stuff, point all that stuff out, and give them a safety factor that they wouldn't have on their own. I've lived here over 3 years, and I still haven't hit all the trails. So there's an enormous amount of trails that we have here, over hundreds of miles of trails in the Henry Mountains Robber Roost area that you can either launch right here from the lodge on the trail right behind our store, the base camp, and access every one of those trails, or you can trailer it off and go on up into the Henrys or north of the Henrys or into the Robber's Roost area, and you can literally spend, well, over 3 years and still not see them all. The desert garden is a very impressive garden. Everything blooms, every cacti, every yucca, just about all the trees are green. When you drive by the washes, it's just really pretty, spectacular, bright green. It's like a whole new life has just come about.
If your kids are anything like our kids, riding in the car gets old, and that's the best part about the Burr Trail. It doesn't matter where you stop, there's something to do. We found a wide spot in the road and let the kids out, and they're off doing their thing.
Who knows where they'll go or what adventure we'll find out here. Maybe an arch, maybe a slot canyon, maybe a snake.
Well, there's a little bit of everything. Where are the kids?
I don't know, but we should go find them. I can hear them.
Hold on one second. We're going to send you out to the where too. We're going to go find our kids.
There is something special about spending time on a lake. From boating to fishing, or simply floating around, it seems nowhere else can match that kind of serenity. Painted Rock State Park at Yuba Lake in Sanpete County happens to be the very perfect place to do it, with their impressive campground and a very easy boat launch so you can get out on the water.
So we're at Painted Rocks today, just enjoying the day with the family, pulling the kids around on the tubes, beating them up a little, beating myself up on the wakeboard.
Tubing is my favorite part because I like bumping into each other and trying to fight and see who could stay on longer.
At Yuba State Park, we've got this Painted Rocks campground over here. It's got 41 campsites with one big group site. There's also a boat ramp over here at Painted Rocks, so you can go play in the water, launch your boat right here. You can also play on the beach. We've got beach access, picnic tables, a lot of fun stuff to do over here.
My favorite part about being out on the boat is probably inner tubing. That's way fun. I fell off a few times and that was fun.
There are some days when you simply want to relax and enjoy the water. Take a swim, float with the kids, here you can do just that. Just around the bend from Painted Rock is Palisades, where the water is great for kayaks and swimming. They also offer a golf course with stunning views.
Palisade is an 18-hole facility. We play at about 6,400 yards. It's very family friendly.
We just have a great time with the family coming down to Palisades. There's so much to do down here. We love to golf. The kids are just learning how to golf, and it's kind of it's a slower pace down here for the kids to be able to enjoy playing.
I like to say Palisade as a whole is a recreation dream. You know, we have our 18-hole golf facility. We have a great lake reservoir with fishing, paddle boating, kayaking, ATVs. We have the Skyline Mountain Trail that has hundreds and hundreds of miles, as well as hiking, biking, pretty much anything you can think of.
With an activity for everyone, 6 Mile Pond is a great getaway in this breathtaking landscape.
6 Mile Pond is kind of an established little campground that's on the Forest Service area. The nice thing about it is they stock it with fish. You can catch all kinds of fish. They have a little campground. They also have a nice outhouse that you can utilize. So it's a lot nicer area to just come to and enjoy with your family.
I think fishing like up in the mountains like this and stuff, it's a lot more peaceful, less people, you know, quiet, calm. I just like fishing up higher up. It's fun.
No matter how you enjoy the water, there's a way to find your paradise in Sanpete County. For At Your Leisure, I'm Joe Davis.
I promised my son that if he got straight A's, we would take a guy's trip, just the two of us. We were riding on a trail outside a place called Minersville, Utah. There was so much to explore and the trail just kept climbing higher, right to the top of a mountain called Jack's Peak. We just stood there with the whole world below us, not saying much. In fact, not a word. Later, my son turned to me and said, "I love you, Dad." Suddenly, I realized we weren't just camping, we were connecting.
Paris RV is blowing out all remaining 2019 inventory right now. Get the 2019 Viking 10 trailer 1706 XLS at only $81.72 or $99 a month, zero down. Or the 2019 Mesa Ridge 26 BH bunkhouse at only $17,684 or $180 a month, zero down. Or get the 2019 Puma 286 RB SS fifth wheel at $28,688 or $248 a month, zero down.
If you want a super low price, you come see me at Paris RV.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. I'm Scott Huntsman. This is our What's New segment for this week. I'm back with Project Ruby Red. Today we're going to be installing a set of Teraflex's FALCON shocks. The FALCON shock line is manufactured here at Teraflex in their facility in West Jordan, Utah. So let's go on inside and let's see what that's all about and where they make these shocks. Okay, we're inside Teraflex office here. We're in the showroom. This place is a candy store to me. I'm digging it. I'm here with Dennis Wood. You've seen him on several YouTube videos with Teraflex. Dennis, tell us a little bit about the company.
We've been doing the Jeep thing forever, and the major, the suspension obviously needs to work well. We've worked with some great shock manufacturers, but what we found is we needed a shock that would do some specific things for us to increase the ride and the handling and so forth on our Jeeps. A lot of these companies are so big, it's the old trying to turn a battleship thing. They just weren't able to make those changes. So we said, all right, we're gonna do it ourselves.
So you guys are indeed, you researched, you developed, and you came up with your own.
We had some really good engineers, some really sharp guys, and they put together the FALCON shock with some unique designs. I mean, they're Jeep specific.
Wow. They manufacture those here in West Jordan, is that right?
Yep. A whole, walk you through back there. We do the whole thing here.
Well, let's go take a look.
Let's do it.
Great. So Dennis, this is the most impressive part to me about this. We start with raw material like this. This is the end product. Really, how long does it take them to produce something like this using these machines?
They've got it down to it's gonna take 3.5 minutes to mill that end cap. And then it's gonna take us another 2 minutes to do this shaft. So they have it all lined out so that we know how long it takes to produce all the parts to make a shock.
This is really cool. This is the fascinating part about all of this to me. Dennis, this is a fascinating looking machine right here. What is this thing doing?
It's a shock dyno. So when these shocks come out, they hang them on a rack and they sit there for 24 hours. No shock will be sold before it's time. Once it's been tested and there's no leaks on it, we bring them over and they'll do like 20% of the shocks. And if the parameters aren't within what the computer's looking for, they pull them out, tear it apart, find out what's going on, check a few more in that batch to make sure they're not bad. We're looking for quality. We got to get them out there, get it done once, get it done right.
So Dennis, here's our final product. We're all the way to the very end. The fit, the finish looks good, and it's been tested. Where does it go from here?
Well, we got to get it in a box. I mean, it's all stickered up, looks good. So these guys box them up, and then it goes to the end of the building and they ship them out from there. But you know what's cool? When they put them in the boxes, the guy that built the shock actually signs the card that says, I built this. It's called pride in your work.
Wow, I can't wait to look for it in the shocks that I have, because the thing that comes next for me, getting a set of these bad boys on Project Ruby Red. So let's head on over to our shop now and we'll get them on and try them out. Cool. Thank you very much. Okay, we're back at the shop. I've got my FALCON shocks. 3 of them already installed. I'm down to the last one. So this is really an easy installation with these. They've got great hardware that lets you mount them just so. Now, up here, slotted and a single bolt. So getting it in and started and then onto the bottom is really a simple step, and I'll show you how. Okay, as you can see, we've got the shock in place. 2 bolts on top, the 1 stud at the bottom. It was really simple to get that in. The skid plate clears. One thing I wanted to mention, I also replaced with Teraflex new springs from their CT3 suspension. The springs are paired with the shocks for their best performance. Let's get the wheel on, and I want to get this down and try it out on the road. All right, we've got the Jeep out. We've been driving it. I'm really happy with the performance of these shocks, at least on the road. We're going to try them off-road. These FALCON shocks look fantastic. They're not only a quality product, but they've got a great aesthetic. They've got great instructions, great illustrations to go along with it, so the installation was really very simple, and I'm very happy with the result. I'm Scott Huntsman. More at your leisure in a moment.
What is it that gets us out here to the middle of nowhere? What makes us choose the sweltering heat instead of our air-conditioned homes and swimming pools? Usually, it's just some friendly trash talk. And we wouldn't have it any other way.
There's a little place on a Utah Utah map, where I was raised, where my heart's at, where the sagebrush grows wild and high, and the stars come out at night. Oh, there ain't nothing like being raised in the basin with a Ute reservation, skiing starvation, that Duchesne County life.
When we go on vacation, I never ask, are we there yet? Because my daddy makes sure each stop we make is at Eagles Landing. They have such cool things for kids, like a petting zoo. They have the cleanest bathrooms on earth, and Daddy doesn't freak out pulling up to the pumps, because they're really big and he says it's the best gas in the world. And you can get your tire fixed, like we had to. Oh, and their food is so yummy. Eagles Landing is so much fun, I don't care if we ever get there.
Since 1935, Utah's most entertaining rodeo has been coming to you from Nephi, Utah. And again this year, you won't be disappointed as we'll be featuring top cowboys, cowgirls competing for the largest prize purse ever. 3 days of family fun and entertainment. The City of Fun Carnival, parades, the rodeo to feature the beauty, the grace, and the speed of Madison McDonald Magic in Motion. Barrelman Matt Merritt to make you laugh. Flying U, Flying Cowboy Motorcycle Team. July the 11th, 12th, 13th, Juab County Fairgrounds, 8 p.m. nightly, the Ute Stampede.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. If you look over my shoulder, you can see that we found what we came to find.
Absolutely, we found the most beautiful wildflowers I've seen all spring.
It really is.
It's, I guess, the only good thing about all that rain we've had.
How many colors of wildflowers do you think we've seen today?
You know, we've had purple, white, pink, yellow. I've even seen some orange.
Let's count and find out.
How many can you find?
Well, the Burr Trail originally was just the switchback section that took you from the lower desert to the upper desert through the water pocket full. It was created by John Atlantic Burr to move his sheep from winter range to summer range and back and forth. And so that was the original Burr Trail itself. Then improvements were made from Boulder to that point. There were some significant improvements made in the 1950s. At that point, it was really kind of a one-lane road. Part of the road was built as development of Lake Powell. I became familiar with the road in the late 1980s when Garfield County decided it wanted to improve the road all the way from Boulder to State Highway 276, approximately 66 miles. When they developed Lake Powell, they commissioned a study. I believe it was part of Glen Canyon's National Recreation Areas Enabling legislation. The study was intended to develop an east-west route to connect the lake, and it was called the Trans-Escalante Highway. As I remember the study, it said that it would cost $9.2 million to build at that time. And although the route was selected, it never proceeded beyond that. Congress never authorized the funding and it was never built. I think it provides a great opportunity for recreation. If you really wanted to be alone and have a great trip and a great ride, you could ride over the Burr Trail, that's 66 miles, and see many spectacular opportunities. Our hope has always been, since the 1980s, to have it all-weather surfaced, paved all the way across. Probably the next step is we need to contact Capitol Reef National Park and initiate those discussions.
So Kevin, today we saw a lot of beautiful wildflowers.
We did.
And one of my favorites hiking everywhere in Sevier County is the Indian paintbrush, and I didn't see it anywhere here. I saw some very beautiful flowers, but it really surprised me.
Kind of lacked a little bit of the red, but you know what? We may still see it. We've got a ways to go. We're going to go up and decide whether we head over to Star Springs or whether we take a left and go over to Capitol Reef. We're going to send you guys over to our Along the Way story, and we're going to go figure that out.
I'm Reece Stein, at your leisure, in one of the best preserved medieval cities in the world, Tallinn, Estonia. Today it's a bustling commercial center and fantastic travel destination. Anchored by the massive town hall, Tallinn's main square has been a central gathering spot for 600 years. It's believed the world's first Christmas tree was erected here. In the summer, it's surrounded by outdoor cafes and shops and hosts many festivals and concerts.
It's got these wonderful buildings that have been maintained and changed and still have a wonderful flavor of the city. The cobblestones, the churches, the storage buildings, the restaurants, the linen shops, it's all wonderful.
Europe's oldest continuously operated pharmacy is here and still retains its historic character while serving locals and travel-weary tourists with medical miracles since at least 1422. From here, the lower Old Town fans out in a spider web of narrow streets and fun alleys, including medieval St. Catherine's Passage, lined with colorful shops and cafes. The passage empties out onto a street of alcoves filled with artisan workshops. This has been a marketplace since the 1400s.
I think it's a great stop, a great place to see, and I love the atmosphere. And I got me a new hat.
Ta-da! Twin Towers welcome visitors to the lower Old Town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a walled neighborhood of gabled houses, half-hidden courtyards, grand churches, and soaring towers, all neatly packaged within mostly intact ancient city walls, give lower Old Town a fairy tale charm.
I love the old city of Talon. There's all these streets that curve in and out. You've got places to eat and places to shop and places you can learn about the history of the area.
Through the long leg gate, we enter Upper Old Town on Tupia Hill. The setting sun lights up the skyline, including St. Mary's Church with its domed spire, the oldest church in Tallinn and the only building on the upper hill to survive a 17th century fire. Nearby Alexander Nevsky Orthodox Cathedral sports a regal crown of 5 Russian onion domes. Built at the end of the 19th century, it is viewed by many modern Estonians as a symbol of oppressive Russian occupation. Still, after independence, Estonians wanted to tear it down, but couldn't afford the demolition costs. Across the way, the Pink Palace, home to Estonia's independent parliament. Tallinn has survived a turbulent history, including brutal occupations by Hitler and Stalin.
I'm very impressed with the resilience of the people and how they survived the life that they were given, the deal that they were given.
Stout stone walls, guard towers, and imposing gates have secured the Upper Old Town since medieval days. Outside the gates, a modern business district strong in information technology known as the Silicon Valley of the Baltics. Tallinn is home to many IT startups. Skype was invented here. And a short tram ride away is Tallinn's best open space, 170-acre Kadriorg Park along the Baltic coast. Here 300 years ago, Peter the Great built Kadriorg Palace for his wife Catherine I. The palace needed some work.
1725, Peter dies. And then Catherine also actually dies quite soon after. So they did not live here because the palace was not finished. But it was finished, yes.
Finished, but only occasionally visited by Russian nobility, Catherine's initials survive above the Great Hall. Today it is a museum with a grand garden and fountains, the crown jewel of Tallinn, historic and modern gateway to the Baltics.
Oh, the energy is phenomenal. It's probably the most cosmopolitan city that we've been in.
Reece Stein at your leisure along the way in Tallinn, Estonia.
Hi, I'm Nolan Stedman.
And I'm Bruce Stedman.
We have been selling motorcycles like this since 1960.
Motorcycling has been part of our family forever.
We love riding and enjoying the outdoors, everything that Utah has to offer.
Riding motorcycles, snowmobiles, ATVs, and now side-by-sides. That's what we do, it's who we are.
Stedman's Recreation in Tooele. We've been proudly serving Utah's families for over 50 years. Stedman's Recreation in Tooele. You may think it's 300 miles out there, but remember, it's only 30 back.
Give us the work no one else wants to do. We don't just go against the grain, we grow it. Give us the frontiers, the places where success is measured and pushed limits. Give us the middle of nowhere, where the only map is your buddy's tread marks. This life, no one's born ready for it.
Since 1935, Utah's most entertaining rodeo has been coming to you from Nephi, Utah. And again this year, you won't be disappointed as we'll be featuring top cowboys, cowgirls competing for the largest prize purse ever. 3 days of family fun and entertainment. The City of Fun Carnival, parades, the rodeo to feature the beauty, the grace, and the speed of Madison McDonald magic in motion. Barrelman Matt Merritt to make you laugh. Flying U, Flying Cowboy Motorcycle Team. July the 11th, 12th, 13th, Ticaboo County Fairgrounds, 8 p.m. nightly, the Ute Stampede.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. Can you tell which way we turned?
Well, if you can't tell, we decided not to go to Capitol Reef and instead we headed over to Star Springs. Coming around this corner, we saw this beautiful hillside of yellow flowers. After about 5 miles of purple, now we're into miles and miles and miles of just yellow hillsides, contrasted by the blue skies with the white clouds and then that gray lunar mesa in the background. And then beyond that, the white snow-capped mountains of southern Utah.
It is a beautiful sight, but right now let's find out who our contest winner is.
Hey, thanks, Gina. This week's contest winner is license plate number 262-539Z and was spotted a few weeks ago up at Daniel Summit Lodge. Congratulations, folks. You're the lucky winners of a $400 RIFAB gift certificate. RIFAB does the best custom metal fabrication for your rig. Check out rifab.com for more details. And it looks like you're also going to win a $100 gas and gift card to the magnificent Eagles Landing. So be sure to fill up on that real gasoline next time you're headed south on I-15. Now, let's take a look at our calendar of events. July 11th through the 13th, we'll be at the Ute Stampede Rodeo in Ticaboo County. This is one of the best rodeos in the state. It's so much fun. They've got a carnival. It will be jam-packed with action and shows. It's going to be a great night, so come on down and we'll look for you. Now let's take a look at next week's show. Next week, my friend Scott Huntsman is launching us out for a day filled with torque and power as we visit the UMC racetrack out in Tooele. Then the summer fun continues as we head out to the Minersville Reservoir in Beaver County for their annual Beaver Lake Fest event. Finally, how do you get your kids to get off their electronic devices and head out into the wilderness? Well, we'll show you one great option as we follow one family out to the lake for Utah's annual Free Fishing Day.
Next week's show looks great.
It really does. I wouldn't miss it. Thanks for coming with our family today on our trip down the old Burr Trail. Even though we never did quite make the Burr Trail, we did find the flowers that we were after.
If you want to find the wildflowers, check with Captain Ray at the Ticaboo Lodge at their Adventure Center. He'll keep track of when they're in bloom for you, so if you have any questions, he's the person to contact.
Go talk to Captain Ray, he knows everything. Remember, there's adventure around every bend. Get out and find your own.
At your leisure. Let's go find those Indian paintbrush.
Let's go find them.